sure about that?
All right, welcome back to another video.
Hey,
All right, guys. So we have a fun one for you. So over here at the Truth Media Podcast, and before we get into the video of the night, let me introduce the cast. So this is your boy Q Fusion Reacts and my co-host.
Double A Hef in the building, y'all. What's good? Welcome back.
Woohoo!
Hey, yo. Whoa.
Yo, my bad. All right, so we getting started. We getting freaky. And there's no hold barred when it comes to freaky. Now, guys, over here at the Truth Media Podcast, you know that we do not pick sides. We are only on the side of the truth. And now, when it comes to the truth, there are some that would say, "Oh, we know we lean on the manosphere." There was some that we lean on incels. You know, we lean on the black pill. We lean on all the pills that are known to men. And I only know that me and my co-hosts, we lean on the side of the truth, the unmitigated truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, dear Lord. But now, when it looks like within a certain space that there has been a chink in the armor. Okay, there is an individual. I've done reactions on him on my channel. My co-host, I think, and I did a reaction to a appearance he had on the Fresh and Fit show. Donovan Sharpe. Donovan Sharpe is a staple within the red pill community. He is somebody that has made his rounds on a number of different platforms, and is somebody that is very revered within this space. But these last couple of weeks, my man, Donovan, you have been getting been setting yourself up, man. You've been getting a whole bunch of what the fuck is going on here. Okay, and this is not unlike any other, but in a video, it looks like he has a conversation and sit down with some others who are in the space as well, where he goes through a story about how he simped. I don't know if you can say this on YouTube without getting blackballed, but he simped for a Jezebel, a harlot, a heathen. So we're gonna go through that story, and me and my co-hosts are gonna react. We are going to keep it real, keep it funky, and keep it straight. So now, if you guys enjoy this video and you think that we are somebody that you could listen to on those long car rides from a hard day at work, please do not hesitate to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We definitely love the free likes and we love the free subscribes. Okay, we do it live. All right. So Aaron, Mr. Double A Hef. Sorry, I'm out here doxing you. Mr. Double A Hef, is there anything before I start this debacle?
Look, man, let's just go. let's get ready to rumble.
All right, so I want to skip past this. I want to skip back to coming up. All right, let's begin.
The worst. I'm gonna give you guys the Reader's Digest version of the girl that I love the most.
Ah, man,
this story is it's absolutely crazy. To make a very long story very short, I started paralegal school when I was 31 years old, and there's this hot 19-year-old in my class. We took a shine to each other immediately, right? It was a great relationship. We spent every day together, blah, 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 blah. Red flag number one that I didn't even think about. One day, I had a headache in class because I suffer from migraines, and she recognized that. She says, "What's wrong?" I said, "Well, I've got a headache." She's like, "All right." Reaches into her purse, and she gives me this big white pill. I'm like, "What is that?" She says, "It's Vicodin." And I was like, all right. So I took the Vicodin. Headache is gone. What's a 19-year-old doing with a bag full of Vicodin, right?
She's a drug dealer, right?
No problem at all. Red flag number 2. She had homemade. She had homemade tattoo on her wrist, right? Told me she got it when she was. Told me she got it when she was 15. Hold on. Red flag number 3. Stay with me. Red flag number 3. She had a 6-year-old. She was 19 years old who had a 6-year-old, which means what, class? She had her child at 13, which means she was having at 12. It gets even better. The baby daddy was in prison at the time we were dating.
Oh.
Statutory E-part. Here's the
You were
reason
dating
why
her?
they didn't throw the book at him with Jessica's Law.
He just said, "Well, we were
Damn,
dating."
son, where'd you find this?
That's where this.
Yo,
Man.
Because she
oh wait,
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
read the headline. The headline says
seduced him.
he
and
admits he simped for a crackhead. Oh, okay, so that's where he's going. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah. This is so. Just to give. I'm sorry about that. So just to give our viewers some context. So I think this was a long panel discussion that they had with each other. This story was sort of to give the viewers an indication as to, I guess, what, he's sort of been through the fire of simping and all the lore. So I think he's around 45, 46 now. So I guess it's one of those things where he's saying, hey, I was that guy, you know what I'm saying? And then I had my transformation stage. So he's going through one of those that guy moments in great detail so that everybody can know how much of a simp he was.
Jury actually bought it. The jury actually bought it. So let's set the scene. August. So my birthday, I open up Facebook to get all the birthday love. She left her account open on my computer on Facebook. I scrolled through, saw all kinds of stuff. Drove to her place. I said, I want you to be honest with me. Have you cheated on me? I wanted her to lie to me. And I wanted her to lie to me so I could just keep up the delusion. She said, honestly, yes. That is the worst emotional pain I've ever felt in my life. To this day, I never will. Dude, I went to her bathroom. I puked, ripped off the necklace. She's blowing me up at work all day long. I'm sorry.
I can't hear nothing. Bro. Hey, yo, I don't hear nothing.
I'm sorry.
I can't hear nothing, bro. Nah. All right. Well, while my co-host is getting his audio back together, for those of you that have seen at least what I just saw, allow me to say this, and this is one of my issues, if you even want to call it an issue. I wouldn't personally call it an issue because I don't really give a shit about what anyone else is doing. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here saying that we should all adopt the mindset of do what the fuck you want to do. No, but I'm saying at the end of the day, people have their own lives to live and their own choices to make and repercussions to deal with from said choices. So I'm not the one to be over here like, oh, well, this person should be doing this and I need to really, be thinking about them. So this dude, obviously, simping hard, right? But he's gonna then turn around and say, "Oh, I'm red pill now." I went through all of this sim shit, and it's helped me find myself to like the red pill's the way. And no, actually, the red pill is not the way. Any of those like blue pill, red pill, any of that shit is basically a bunch of niggas like jerking other dudes off. And I don't mean that literally, even though I'm sure in some of those circles that might literally be going on. But at the end of the day, bro, it's not about battling with the woman. These red pill dudes and a lot of these pill dudes, no matter what color it is, and I don't know how many they got out now or whatever, but it's the same shit as the goddamn LGBTQ, basically, in my opinion. It's all the same bullshit. Like, first of all, get the fuck over yourself. No one gives a shit. When you figure that out, then you can focus on yourself and do what you got to do to make yourself fucking happy and get what the fuck you want in life. Okay? But as long as you're running around holding the goddamn scoreboard, looking around every chance you get to see, okay, this, no, okay, no validation from you, you're a fucking loser. All right? You're not living your life. Live your life, okay? Live your life. Live your life and deal with whatever questions you have to deal with as they come. So again, a lot of these red pill dudes, not all, but most, um, they 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 all come from the same backstory that this dude is saying. The same. Oh yeah, I used to do this and I was a simp. And, I was heartbroken. But whenever you hear these stories, they were super simps. Like they were just like, nigga, what the fuck is you doing? Like you're a loser. You just happy that a bitch came around, looked you in the eyes, smiled, and touched your fucking pee. Now you done lost your fucking mind. You lost it. Your mind's gone. Okay, so then don't get mad. 10 years later, when someone's like, hey, bro, you don't got to deal with that. And you're like, you know what? You're right. I don't got to deal with that. And then 10 years later, now all of a sudden, oh, you sucking the red pill dick. That's what we're going to call it from now on. Red pill? Yeah, you sucking the red pill dick. Okay? So now all of a sudden you hate women, and now you got this constant battle going on with women, like they're the Jedi or you're the Jedi, and they're the fucking Sith Lords and shit. When ultimately, at the end of the day, a real man knows we are not on the same level. Nothing is equal. And women are not on our level. Not saying that we are, like they should be disrespected or whatever. No, not the case at all. They should be respected, especially those women that have a brain, that have a right mind, right? That actually get it. Now, there might be 5 of them between here and the Mississippi River, but ultimately, when you find them, you have to treat them with respect. We can't be out here just adapting this whole mindset of, or adopting, I should say, this whole mindset of, oh, all women are inherently bad and we have to treat them like shit. No. If that's what you think, then you've ultimately learned nothing, and you got a lot of growing to do. And it's sad because, unfortunately, from what I've seen, a lot of these quote unquote red pill dudes are older. They're in their like mid to late 30s and above. So they're doing all of this, and you know what? Yeah, you might get some young chicks, right? You might get some young chicks that are just like experimenting, and then, hey, yeah, I'll be with an older dude, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But bro, you know what? Like Kevin Samuels used to say all the time, you're gonna die alone, and it's true for most of these liberal quote unquote women out here, especially the liberal quote unquote black women out here. They gonna die alone, but a lot of y'all niggas gonna die alone too. And a lot of y'all niggas not on the same footing as a Kevin Samuels, where Kevin Samuels, he built an empire. YouTube, he was making that money. He had bread, and he had his own business as like a quote unquote hitch doctor going on. So he was good. A lot of y'all niggas, y'all don't got nothing to your fucking name. Yet you gonna be out here acting a goddamn fool. You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna die alone. Now, for some of y'all, y'all might be cool with that. Some not. I can tell you right now, from a young age, I always knew that I was going to be a father. I was going to be a husband. I always knew, because growing up without a father, well, I should say without my father, I always knew that was never going to be me. My kids going to know me. I'm going to be my kid's father. There's going to be no ands, ifs, buts about it, and that's just how we're going to go forward. So I always knew, where I was going to be. I had aspirations and high family values that was ultimately going to lead me to the path that I'm on now. So, I get not everyone is like me, but for the brothers out there that do wish to have a family, do wish to, pass on their knowledge. Hopefully they actually have some true, tangible knowledge that they can pass down, and valuable knowledge. Well, I guess all knowledge would be valuable, so that's kind of redundant. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Then yeah, you might want to not adopt an ideology, if you will, of all women are bad, and again, like no, not at all. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. I mean, we can't be that binary where it's like, good, bad. All cops are bad. Like all white people are bad, because if the shoes on the other foot, black people be the first one to be outraged. Oh man, they say that we're all bad, they think we're all thugs and shit like that. But then you got niggas out here saying white devil this. And again, I'm not here to bring people together. That's really not what I'm about. I'm about the truth, and I know for a fact that truth does not bring people together. So by definition, I am not here to be the great bringer of togetherness. All right, I'm actually here to basically divide, because that's what the truth is going to do. It's going to divide. So, and it seems that my co-host is still having some technical difficulties with his audio. So I don't really have a video right now to pull up, but what I think I can do, I think I can stream something. I can share, even though I'm not the host of this channel. I think I can share something. So bear with me. I'm going to try and I'm going to try to pull something up, and I hope this is still live because I don't know, because it seems like he's not in it anymore. But I guess if you don't end it, then it still goes on. So let me see what I can put up on YouTube. I know what we were just talking about, but I don't know that video. So let me see if I have anything worth pulling up that we could just break down real fast. Let me see. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. If you're just tuning in, do me a favor: like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's see. Nah, none of those videos. This has been an issue I've been having on my YouTube lately, because of most of y'all know that's been on my channel. You know, I'm very artistic. I do photography. I do videography. I like to make films. You know, I'm a filmmaker, I guess you could call it. Ultimately, I'm working towards a feature-length film, but currently I'm working on a whole bunch of short films. So because of that, because I watch a lot of videos on filmmaking, on photography and framing and all this different stuff, you know, I'm a sponge right now to a lot of this stuff because, you know, it intrigues me. So now my algorithm has been skewed towards that. So, you know, before, like months ago, I would go on YouTube and it's like a whole bunch of like heathenry that I could just like, I'm like, I got material for days with all of this crap. But now it's like, I don't have material based off these videos because all of these videos are talking about, you know, very, very particular topics. So with that being said, you know, unless y'all out there and y'all want to know about how to make a short film, how to write, how to, yo, I think I heard a little something. Yeah, I can't hear nothing. I see you, but I can't hear nothing. So now I hear. Oh, that's not you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Of course, you come back right when I'm about to pull up a video, man.
Jeez.
This guy.
Whew, my God, man. I don't know what the heck just happened.
That's that Nigerian internet you got going on, bro.
Yeah, I think this shit like overheated. All this fire that we're spitting, man. They couldn't have it. I think it's because we put the simp title in there. All right, cut it on there. All right, let's make sure we get this in there. All right, so we're still live. Jesus Christ, that's saying. Yeah, guys, as we said before, we do this shit live. I'm sorry. You wanted to pull up a video you were saying?
No, my video is not in line with what we were talking about. I was done speaking about that, so I don't want to leave everyone stagnant.
Gotcha. Thank you for holding down the fort, Aaron. Well, damn, I did it. Thank you for handing down the fort, AAF.
Thank you,
while I was dealing with my connection issues. I want to jump us right back into the video. I'm sure my co-host was
a jewelry store. I bought her a ring,
proposed
to her. I proposed to her. Listen, I'm telling you.
Come on. When I restarted my, need no bullshit right now. Don't need no bullshit. I think we were like around here. Give me some better quality. Thank you. Come on. Yeah, this was supposed to be a shorter video, guys, but as you guys can see, the internet had other plans for us. Well, at least for me. So I thank it. I thank the good old fashioned web. So let's see if we can.
With a bag full of Vicodin, right?
She's a drug dealer, right?
No problem at all. Red flag
I'm
number
gonna
2.
need them to 1080p me.
She had homemade tattoo on her wrist, right? Told me she got it when she was 15. Hold on. Red flag number 3. Stay with me. Red flag number 3. She had a 6-year-old.
Oh man.
She was 19 years old, who had a 6-year-old, which means what, class? She had
There
her
we go.
child
Clear that
at
up.
13, which means she was having sex at 12. It gets even better. Baby daddy was in prison at the time.
Oh.
That's a EPAR. Here's the reason why they didn't throw the book at him with Jessica's Law. It's because she testified to the jury that she seduced him. She bought it. The jury actually. So, let's set. So my birthday, I open up Facebook to get all the birthday love. She left her account open on my computer on Facebook. I scrolled through, saw all kinds of stuff. Drove to her place. I said, I want you to be honest with me. Have you cheated on me? I wanted her to lie to me.
All right, guys. So just real quick, just because I know we got the fairy, want to make sure we get ourselves in here. Right off the bat, guys. I mean, just some learning lessons. I don't know what his life lended out after this whole situation. As we're getting more and more into it, but as you can see, this guy has already gone through 3 red flags during the course of his storytelling, and right off the bat, I mean, we already know that this person was not suitable for a relationship, right? Where he was at mentally at this time, because I believe he starts off by saying that he was quite older than her.
31
When
he was 19.
right, so to say the least, you're already working. You should be at this time. It's one thing if he was like 25, 24, 23. Like, to say you were 31 and you were, at that point in your life where you still thought that this was a viable option for somebody to settle down with. I can see why you have so much anger when you speak on these topics, right? He comes off, if anybody watches his content, a lot of the times, when people say the who hurt you, he tries to poo-poo it and make it seem like they're sort of just coming at him and throwing ad hominem attacks. But my man, Donovan, when you're openly telling these types of stories, you must think, if we're going to be logical, you must think that one would tend to believe that you, my sir, are dealing with some baggage, okay, when it comes to the female variety. So to say the least, you definitely were setting yourself up for one hell of a ride, one hellacious ride. Let's carry on.
And I wanted her to lie to me so I could just keep the delusion. She said, honestly, yes. That is the worst emotional pain I've ever felt in my life. To this day, I never will. Dude, I went to her bathroom. I puked, ripped off the necklace. She's blowing me up at work all day long. I'm sorry. I can't pick up the phone. So finally, I picked up the phone. She's like, hey, I'm sorry. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. She's like, look, I want to come to your place. I have a birthday surprise for you. So she comes over. She has like this little cupcake, and she bought me a watch that she knew I was looking at. Then she turns around, lifts up her shirt. There was my name tattooed on the small of her.
This is that's my point. You were away. I went into all of this.
Okay.
And we didn't get to this part of the video, obviously, because you were
Okay.
gone. But after hearing this, I'm doubling down on what I was saying to everybody. Look, people like this don't change. They might come back with like this new quote unquote persona. Oh, I'm red pill now, but no, they still are the same scared little hurt person deep down.
Mm.
The red pill is just a literally an item that you can hide behind. That's all it is. It's a big old red dick that you're sucking on.
Hey, yo.
For validity. Like, no, because again, bro, I don't know what happened with this dude after that. I don't know who he is now or who he is today, but I guarantee you, that same person that went through all of that shit, because the nigga said it. These red flags, nigga. You mean to tell me now none of your friends and family was saying that shit to you two at the same damn time? Nobody in your circle was like, yo, what are you doing? First of all, I know they was, because she 19, you 31. So already, I already know that, bro. So no, don't sit here and try to, because what these red pill dudes do, they try to come back. Oh, women are bad. This, that, and the third. They're the devil. They're the worst. Don't respect them. Treat them like shit. They're all the same. No, bro. No. You're hurt. You're damaged, bro. You're damaged, and most of them, not all, because I don't know all these niggas, and I don't want to be honest with you.
Dead.
But most of them are on the same wavelength that this dude is, and it's fucking despicable. I'm telling you, as a man listening to this shit, it makes me sick. You know, if I was look, it's one thing that we're watching this video. If this nigga was if in my vicinity anywhere and started saying this bullshit, I would was telling him like, just shut the fuck up, nigga. No one wants to hear that shit. That shit to your fucking self. Because I don't understand what the point of this is. What the point of it is, bro. Because yeah, I'm sure like there's
Son, where'd you find this?
obviously I'm breaking down some of the nuggets from it and I'm dispensing it for brothers to give them game. Hopefully they can avoid a lot of that bullshit that this nigga's doing, right? But ultimately, what the fuck is he trying to get across and accomplish? Because we know he's not on the same wavelength mentally as I am as it pertains to this subject matter. And that's a fact.
Oh man.
And you can tell just by when he's talking about it. No real morally upright man with dignity would ever retell that story on a platform like that. Ever. Because it's something that is like, yo, bruh. That
Yeah,
shit,
bro.
you buried that shit. If it happened to you and you came out on the other side, hey, kudos to you. That shit's buried, dead and gone. You know?
Yo.
Not to be out here like you out here like, oh, can you believe this? They didn't lock the dude up because she convinced the court that she seduced him. You still sound like you want to believe that shit, you fucking loser. Oh, he looked like she called him today.
Oh man.
Like, oh, she was like, oh, I'll suck your dick, baby. And he'll be like, oh, put and pop. Come on. You know what I'm saying? You already know, bro. He's too much.
This guy's crazy, man.
Too much.
No, man. You know what? When I first came across this video, I had this like deep sense of disdain. You know what I mean? I think it's just because we're at this point in society where shame has been completely eradicated, and for people who talk about in this space, right? I mean, obviously, me and my co-host, we disagree on sort of the impact of the red pill community, what they have to offer in certain spaces, but we don't disagree on what we don't disagree on. Is some of the pundits that exist within this space, how absolutely non-productive to the human space that they can be, right? And this individual, it's just when you watch, like if you watch, because what I do is like, again, like I tell my co-hosts all the time, I watch all different types of content. I watch these guys go on panels, because what I like to see is people challenge, and not those, when they have the airheads on and they're having those combos, but I like when they actually are going back and forth with people with some sort of intellectual fervor. I like to see, how do they handle themselves when their points are moot, right? And when you see guys, like Donovan Sharpe speak, you see us. I don't know. It's like my co-host, man. You see this it's like a shell, right? A shell of a man that exists that just sort of still feels like he is not all the way there, right? No matter what he's accomplished, no matter what he's gotten, along the way of his journey. I mean, I think he's, like I said before, 40 something. It just seems as though something is not all right there. I've watched him talk about his story. I mean, so I know he's been through, he's had drug problems, he's had substance abuse issues. So that goes to speak on sort of the roller coaster of a life this man has led. I mean, even the story in itself. I mean, one must be a huge have huge addiction to chaos to be able to take something like this on. So yeah, so I'm just it's man. I watched somebody speak on this this video as well, and I agree with their sentiments completely. I mean, there's just, and also my co-host was leaning towards this as well. There's just some sentiments that you should just keep to yourself. There's some L's that just don't need to be spoken. Okay, we all know that heathen that we probably shouldn't have clapped. That we probably could have just left to be on a Tuesday night. You just leave those stories to yourself. I mean, unless she was doing backflips on the D or she was doing something extracurricular, you just leave those fucking stories to yourself. This is not something, I don't think he's trying to brag about it, but I don't know what frame he's going to try to hold by telling this story in such innate detail.
Exactly.
Back. Dude, my hand to the man. So I was back in her clutches. It was all downhill from there. Guys, this story gets so much worse.
How old were you?
I was 31. I was
Fucking
31
loser.
years
Double
old. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say 17.
Oh no.
Double.
So she continued cheating on me, right? So
Udemy.
Yo, man,
No matter
there's
how you
brothers,
say it, it's a top
Yo.
online learning destination with thousands of courses.
yo, there's brothers out there right now that are 31 or in their 30s going through this.
So I'm
same
always trying to
shit,
catch
man.
her. I lost my job. I lost the place that I was at. The
Lost
car
your
that I
job
had
is
was
crazy.
paid for because I paid cash for it. It broke down. I didn't have a job, so I couldn't get it fixed. I'm evicted. I ended up having to live with a couple of her drug addict friends in a quasi crack house. Both people were on felony probation.
What?
You can't make this up. Both people, the guy and the girl, were on probation for felony possession. They were on felony probation, ankle bracelets, the whole nine. And so I lived there, and so I had to live there, right? And so finally, and I kept trying to get back with her.
She's watching this
September
like,
16th,
oh man,
baby daddy
I made a
gets out of
mistake.
prison.
I
Okay? Baby daddy gets out of
I
prison.
made a mistake.
I called her up on
This is her
September
show.
15th. I said, you know what? I can't do it. I think you still love Ben. I can't do it anymore. Dude, she cried her eyes out. Hung up the phone. I stayed up all night long. I couldn't sleep. So I called her up. I called her up the next day. I was like, hey, meet me at this gas station. Then I called up my brother and I borrowed $800. He gave me $800. I went to the jewelry store. I bought her a ring.
Hey.
Proposed to her.
Jesus.
I proposed. Listen,
Jesus of the Christ.
listen, it gets worse. It gets worse. I swear to God.
Jesus of the Christ.
People wonder why I speak with such conviction about these things. Dude. Look. It gets worse. It gets worse. So she says yes, right? So now, all of her friends are like, oh, she's getting engaged. Well, eventually she started fucking the baby daddy behind my back. So we were in this love triangle. Anytime she was pissed off at me, she'd go and fuck him. Anytime she was pissed off at him, she would come and fuck me.
Mm-hmm.
So finally on Thanksgiving, I had to call my brother. My family was in this was in North Carolina. My brother comes out into this.
My audience, you guys have to understand, I enjoy playing videos like this because I know how it affects my co-host. Okay, so yes, there's a sadistic part of me that is enjoying watching his reaction to this as well, and also I hope you guys are enjoying it. And if you are enjoying this unabashful display of toxicity, please do not hesitate. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let us know down below what you think of the Red Pill community, what you think of this story, much less. And do you think there's any coming back from this? Do you think there is any redemption?
Into this quasi crack house, and he's kind of looking around, and they're all looking up at him like, that's your brother? And of course we look alike. And so I'll never forget, man, I'm telling my brother about the situation. He's like, my real name's Alex. He says, Alex, what are you doing? And I said to him, dude, you don't choose who you love.
Hey.
Oh, no, yeah. Oh. Yo, this guy, bro. I can't, man. Honestly, this shit's giving me, I'm not gonna say anxiety, but this shit is like, I can't keep listening to like this shit. I mean, I want to finish the video for the sake of our fans and our subscribers, and we're going to call them not fans, our subscribers, because they're not fans. Man, I just want to get through this video because it's ridiculous. Please, just continue.
I still loved her. So he drives me back after Thanksgiving dinner. This girl tells me that she was now engaged to be married to Ben, right? I'm crushed. I'm heartbroken. I'm crestfallen. I'm doing pills.
He said
I'm
crestfallen.
From the time that you recognized the tattoo and she had a 6-year-old to this time, how long has time progressed?
I met her the first day of the second semester, so right in January. So this happened between January. This happened in one calendar year. So
all of this
you're
in
31.
My ninja.
So now I've lost her forever. I've lost her forever. So now I'm doing drugs and all this other kind of stuff. During the time I was living at that quasi crack house, they were telling me, yeah, she this guy, that guy.
Of course.
During the summer, she lost an exorbitant. She was already a small girl.
Yeah.
She lost an exorbitant amount of weight. I found out that she was shooting heroin all summer long. I had no
my
idea.
God.
She kept, dude, it was unbelievable. So anyway, so New Year's Day comes around. Oh, wait a minute. Let me back up. December 10th, the guy, so it's a boyfriend and girlfriend in the crack house. The guy, I was at the library. The
Anxiety.
listen, the probation officer arrested the guy. So then he's in jail for probation violation. So it's just me and his girlfriend. I had no interest in her. It was not like that at all. Well, he was some type staying there. So he called his landlord and told him that I was their permission. New Year's Day, little Jamaican man comes to the door. He points at me. He's like, "You don't live here, and if you're not out of here by 9 o'clock the next morning, the sheriff will come and put you out." Called my brother, dude. I'm gonna be homeless. So he bought me a bus ticket to Atlanta, and I go down. I go down to Atlanta, where my mother and brother were living, and kind of started over then. So I lived in Atlanta for 6 months. Decided to move to Vegas. It was that's a whole big long story. A couple of months into living in Vegas, I get a phone call from a mutual friend of ours, me and the girls, right? And she's like, "You are never gonna believe this." I was like, "Well, what happened?" She said, "Ben is dead." I was like, "This is her husband now, right?
Can't
Baby
hear
daddy.
nothing, bro.
They got married." She says, "Ben is dead."
Go back.
Here's what
Go back.
happened. 2 weeks after here's what happened. Husband now, right? The baby
This
daddy.
part?
Yeah.
They got married. She says, "Ben is dead." Here's what happened. 2 weeks after she married this guy, she started having an affair, right? She started cheating on him.
She's a lovely lady.
Dude. So the story goes is that he gave her $20 to go out and get Chinese food. She took her daughter with her, goes to the guy's house, calls him up and says, "Hey, I'm leaving you, and I'm gonna be here with this guy with the daughter." Of course, he loses his mind. He drives out to the trailer. He starts kicking in the door. The guy on the other side of the door says, "If you kick down this door, I am going to shoot you." He kicked down the door and caught a shotgun slug to the chest, done and killed immediately. It
Pause it
gets
right
even
there.
worse.
All right, so brothers, oftentimes we speak about is never getting into a fight or fighting over a woman, because if you had to fight for the woman, she's not yours and she was never yours, and that's further proof of that, right? And ultimately, we live in a time period where they can do what the hell they want, so you really shouldn't be doing that. But it's never just the other guy. I always say this: you get into a beef, you get into any kind of spat, right? And you think it's another guy. Now you think you got a love triangle. You go over there to go kill him. You kill him or he kills you. Either way, one of you are going to jail, right? Depending on what state you live in, but most likely you're going to jail. So now she lost both of you, but there's always another guy. There's always another guy. Ultimately, the moral of the story is it is not worth it. That dude, although he was a criminal, I don't know what kind of man or quote unquote man he was, right? But I do know that in life, people get what they deserve. So that dude, ultimately, he deserved that, but that all could have been avoided. He didn't have to die like that over a drug addict. And this brother right here telling a story, he's probably telling a story, and now it's making sense to me. He's probably telling a story in such a glowing fashion because he understands. The one thing that he doesn't understand is that could have been him. But luckily, he's still alive. He knows, I guarantee you, that brother knows that he could have died on that simp bullshit that he was on over that drug addict. He could have easily have been that dude. Easily. And he knows it. So now it's coming full circle to me why he's speaking the way he's speaking about this. Because he gets to look back and be like, I'm alive. I withstood that. But he still can't look from a greater depth and say, hey, well, you know what? Every step of the way, I was the one digging my own grave. It's just what happens that through happenstance, I didn't get to 6 feet yet. Because if that brother metaphorically was digging his own grave, he got to at least 5 feet. And if he would have dug 1 foot deeper, if circumstances would have allowed him to do so, he would be dead. Brothers, there's more dudes that's going to die this year in domestic disputes than any other bullshit that you're worried about. This COVID shit, You know what I'm saying? Like the flu, niggas is gonna die from domestic disputes, and that's not limited to just black, quote unquote blacks. That's dudes in general. I I caution all y'all brothers out there of all different races, ilks. Never, ever, ever fight over a woman. Ever. Unless you're fighting on behalf of your mother's honor, that's it. And for you to fight over someone's honor, they must have it.
Mm.
They must have it.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of y'all have mothers that don't have any honor, and you shouldn't be out there fighting over that. Some of y'all have some daughters out there that want to go against the grain, go against what you supplied for them. They want to go against all the instructions that you've given them, and they want to become harlots and Jezebels. You do not die for them. Ultimately, the Bible says that you can kill them.
Oh.
In the movie, one of Spike Lee's best movies, in my opinion, Jungle Fever. Wesley Snipes' brother was Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson was a crackhead. His name was Gator. Spoiler alert, if you've never seen the movie, it's a classic. Go check it out. Gator was a crackhead, and he used to constantly steal from their parents. Come in and leave with the TV, come in and leave with the microwave, all that crackish stuff. So ultimately what happened is that the father, quoting the scriptures, killed Samuel Jackson, his son, stating that you gotta go. You're a demon. You're a demon, and you're bringing dishonor to the family and all of this. So ultimately, I'm telling brothers, if you have a daughter, just because you have a daughter, don't mean that you got to lay your life on the line for your daughter. People are gonna take the paths that they want to take. All right. So again, do not fight for the honor of someone that has no honor. Do not fight over a woman, especially those that who have no honor. If y'all rocking with me, if you're rocking with that message, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep it going. Hey, yo. This guy, he put me on. I literally. Oh, where'd he go? Oh. Yo, you there or not? My man's having a lot of difficulty today. What's going on? Hey, Mike, you there? You know what's crazy? Bear with us, y'all, as I wait for him to come back. And what I was saying, what's crazy is that I had a video pulled up that I wanted to do before when this happened, and then he came back, and I thought we were good, so I minimized the video. Going to see if I can get it pulled back up now. I have no idea what's going on. Internet is terrible. I see that he put just now. Internet is terrible. Okay, so he's chatting. Not sure if you can hear me or if you see, but in the interim, I'm going to pull up a video, and we're just going to break something down with that because I don't have a timetable when he's going to return. Okay. All right. It's crazy. Now my internet's acting crazy. Michael Peoples. I guess Michael Peoples was in the chat or watching the video. Thanks for the support, brother. Hey, for everyone out there, I will be having Michael Peoples on my show, The Scope, next Thursday. So stay tuned for the headlines and broadcast messages that will be coming up to you shortly on YouTube. I've had him on the channel, I believe, at least once before. And we look forward to bringing them back again. So let me pull up a video. Let's see what we can talk about here. I'm gonna pull up a short one. All right, let's see what this is about. You know, I just realized I may need Q Fusion to actually allow this to pop up on the screen. So it may not even work. Yeah, looks like you can't even see it. You can't even see it. Okay. Yeah, I had a feeling I was gonna happen, y'all.
Can you guys?
Yo,
Can you
you
hear me
there?
now?
I can hear something. Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to give it a bit. Oh man, I don't know. I think my computer's hot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is insane. I think my computer system is heating up. So let's sorry guys. Yeah, sorry. But remember guys, we do this shit live. We're almost at the end of this video. I want to just get to the home stretch. Was there anything I missed?
No, no.
All right, cool. And so while I'm pulling up the video, I just want to speak on a latter point that my co-host was making with regards to fighting over women. Guys, this is a tale older than time. I mean, if you go into the Bible, you know, when you work at the behest of a female, right, you're leaning yourself up to, especially one that you have no blood relation to, as my co-host talked about, you're lending yourself up to disastrous outcomes, right? So, working from that emotional state where you don't have all factors in tow, and just simply because that's my woman, you've got to understand your landscape, you've got to understand your environment, and you have to understand the players. Okay, there's a lot of you guys that are running around full tow. I mean, you can go on UPN 9. Well, I almost said UPN 9. That no longer exists. You can go on any newscast where they talk about the gun violence and things of that nature. I was actually watching a police officer break down the fact that gang violence is actually not exactly gang violence in particular. Give me a second. I just want to make sure I have this video up. And the way that he broke it down was actually incredibly insightful.
Man.
All right, stop it. Was incredibly insightful because what happens a lot of the times is when you see the news, they take the stories, right, of the two individuals, right? If that person was a gang member 15 years ago and they get their arrest records, and they see that they were in, let's say he was a blood 15 years ago, and then the other individual, messed around with gang activity when he was younger. When the gunshots occur and the people end up being affected, what they automatically do is slap it with gang violence, not understanding that there's actually a huge, larger story that has been ensuing between those two individuals. Whether that dude disrespected the other man's sister, or his girlfriend, or what have you. A lot of these gang violence, activities that you see on the news, a lot of it doesn't really predicate from actual gang violence, based upon the breakdown of a lot of these detectives. So that's something that I think that when we're looking at these situations, a lot of the times they could have been resolved if cooler heads would prevail. But because the individuals were growing up in an atmosphere where you're taught to be emotional first and think logically later, right? That is why you're seeing a lot of the hell that you see in these inner city communities. So I would really lend you guys to really think through your thoughts when it comes to how you deal with the disrespect, quote unquote, that you may receive because of your woman.
Mm-hmm. Well said, brother. Appreciate
All
that.
right. No, of course. I just want to. I think we were well in tow on this story.
Brother were living and kind of started over there.
Come on now with these commercials.
Oh, no. Hey.
Go. Oh yeah, this ended up being way longer than I wanted it to because of this damn connectivity.
So I lived in Atlanta for 6 months, decided to move to Vegas. It was that's a whole.
This guy, I just want him to finish this damn story.
I know, this shit is crazy. Come on, work with me.
Got married. She says Ben is dead. Here's what happened. 2 weeks after she married, of course, he loses his mind. He drives out to gun slug to the chest, done and killed immediately. It gets even worse.
I don't know.
They had to put an ankle bracelet on her because they suspect that she might be the shooter, right? Let's back up one more time. And again, this is all relevant. This is when I still had my car. I'm driving to her place from work. I get to her place, and there are 3 cop cars in the driveway. I'm thinking it's because of something that happened next door, because the dude is always beating on his girl, right? That's the kind of place this was.
Udemy.
Damn, these damn
No
commercials.
matter
Yo.
how you say it, it's the top online learning destination with
They making money off us, man. Golly.
The cops were
Yes,
at
they
her
are.
place. She got arrested for possession. The people I was staying with had called the cops and ratted her out. So now she's in jail, right? And of course, I have to save my fair maiden. I called up an old.
Oh, my fair maiden. Jesus.
$1,350
Jesus
to bail her
of
out.
the Christ. Yeah.
She gets out. I love you. Then goes right back to Ben.
I'm gonna change the
Then
title
goes right back to
because
Ben.
maybe that's why
So now
I'm
we
getting all
fast
this
forward.
You
shit.
said Ben was dead.
I backed up.
He backed up.
Okay.
this
They
was
can't even
before.
follow this
Oh,
shit.
So
okay.
now.
So you bailed out
Yep.
the young lady
Yep.
who had left you
Yep.
to go back, and when you
It was
borrowed the
back
money.
and forth. It was back
After
and
he
forth.
owes his brother
She had to
money.
pay back this
Bro.
money to someone else who has nothing to do with the situation, and then she went back straight while she had the tattoo of you on her.
Yep.
Okay, keep going. I got like 15 questions to ask you when this is.
I don't.
Please
almost
don't.
done.
Please don't.
I'm almost done.
Please don't.
So now we fast forward. So Ben is now
Please don't.
dead. I don't know how they got away with it, but
Ben is
he's not
dead.
the guy's not in jail. She ends up marrying the guy that killed Ben
Hey.
and had another daughter.
Hey.
So in the end,
This was the original baby daddy.
the original baby daddy is dead. The original baby
Oh,
daddy.
Ben was the original baby.
Ben was the
I'm
original
getting
baby
the
daddy.
names. Okay.
But
Ben
the
was-
lovely lady went to the
The
guy
new
who
guy.
killed Ben.
Yes.
And now, okay.
Lovely
So
lady.
and so now
Wow.
he ended up marrying the guy who killed her first husband.
Hey.
Had another daughter with him. So the father of her first child was killed by the father of her second child. You cannot make this up. And so this is why.
And you
people
mad
always
that she
wonder
chose both of
why
them
I'm
and
such
over
a-
you.
I'm so passionate and I'm so sure. I have seen the worst. I've been in the worst of the worst situations. It is the worst situation I have ever been in.
And you
But to this
precipitated
day,
it.
I can.
That's
freely
my
admit
point.
That I have never.
Bruh.
That's my point. You precipitated it. Everything that you said, brother. Everything that you said, you played a huge part in that shit.
Yeah,
You
we're,
didn't have
we're
to be
done
a part
with
of
this
that.
video.
You did not have to be a part of that. And that's again, I'm not gonna use the word issue because I don't care enough about these red pill ass niggas to have a legit issue with what the fuck they're doing or saying. But when people ask me to speak on these things, this is where I'm going. Nigga, no one held a gun to your head and forced you to do that dumb shit. All right, you should just be lucky that you not dead and live your life and learn from your experiences. Not take that and then say, "Oh, all women are this," and because I went through some real fucked up shit. You know what? Niggas go through fucked up shit all the time. I've been through some fucked up shit, but that does not mean that I have to have a dark and gloomy disposition on life as a whole because of it. No. That would make me one, not a man. It'll make me a very small human being. Okay, very very small and very limited in my total capacity. And I refuse to put myself in a box, especially a box that small. So again, these red pill dudes. If I'm sure y'all gonna watch this video, 'cause I'm gonna make sure we put all the tags in this hashtag red pill, hashtag mgtow, hashtag hashtag all of that bullshit. So when y'all come, when y'all come, all right, I want y'all to come with some real questions, or if you want to debate, I don't do debates. Because debates are just two idiots going back and forth, and I don't have time to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, well, when you come correct, because there's no reason for it. There's no reason for this red pill shit. There's no reason for this guy to tell this whole story and then say, and that's why people ask why I'm so passionate about where I am because where my stance is. This is why, nigga. When did you say, you know what, I fucked up? I didn't hear this dude say one time, you know what? Hey, and that's probably when I should have left too. And I should have left here, should have left there. I damn sure shouldn't have bought the ring. This nigga want to point out all her wrongdoings or her shortcomings. But that's only because she had him played for a fool. I take that back. He wasn't played for a fool. She had herself a fool indeed.
No.
Okay? So that's what she's going to do. There's a term for that. Prostitutes call them Johns.
Ooh.
Your name is John. I know he said his real government name is Alex, but he lied. It's John.
Ah.
His name is John. And we all know a John when we see a John. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta be a prostitute to know a John when you see a John. That's a John. He's still a John. Still a John.
Jenny, know your role and shut your mouth because the people's champ is ready.
You know what, Aaron? I'm beside myself. You know what I mean? Like, I disagree with you as far as the red pill community. I think that it is. I think it's a needed space, right? Now, is that to say that all players involved are a net positive? No, right? I do think that channels like ours are necessary because you need to be able to have a healthy dialogue where you combat some of their ideals, right? And some of their talking points, right? Without taking it to a place of, oh, this ninja's hurt. Oh, this ninja's sorry. This ninja's a hoe. This ninja,
I gotta ask you a question, man. I have to ask
well,
you.
let me finish. Hold on to your question. Just let me finish.
Okay.
Right? Because again, my thing with guys like Donovan,
Alex,
guys like, that's the name, I guess his show name, Donovan Sharpe, remnants in the way that when we go back and forth about people like Fresh and Fit, it's like when you see them speak like this story, now watching this story, if you didn't tell me this story, I would have completely, absolutely had some idea that somewhere along his 40 years of life that he went through some shit with a woman that he had no business dealing with whatsoever. And now he turns it on its head to say, well, marriage is a waste of time. Marriage is this. Marriage is a joke. Marriage is this and that. Women are, most women are useless. Most this and that. When I hear them start talking that talk, that's when I'm able to take a step back, and instead of just going, yeah, incel, yeah, incel. You take a step back and you're like, this is not how dudes that find themselves around women talk. Okay? This is what sounds like in a locker room where you have the guys that actually do get girls, and then you have the guy that, who's watching the guy that gets girls, who's just sitting in the back going, man, I hate those ninjas, man. Why do they get all the bitches and I don't? What am I doing wrong? Well, maybe it's because you talk like I have an autistic older sister, but you guys talk like you have, for guys that say that you got to have social awareness, you got to have no social cues, you guys talk like you have no social awareness or social cues whatsoever. Like when somebody gives you a point or they talk to you about anything, it's like you're not able to read the room, to the point where you guys are terrible at understanding humor, terrible at understanding sarcasm, terrible at understanding when somebody is probably not even giving you a best faith argument, and they're just basically just talking just to talk. But instead, you carry yourselves with a fervor of anger, right? So disguised in logic, right? Which can then, it then has remnants of, again, you got no bitches growing up. But yet you're giving out this mantra. A lot of these guys, and not all, right? But a lot of these guys are giving out, which is where I don't have a disagreement with my co-host. A lot of these guys, they come, it's very hard for you guys to argue with the women that say, damn, who hurt you? I know you guys are making money off that, putting it on your paraphernalia, but there's a lot of the times that you guys are literally perpetuating a ton of emotional baggage. You sound like emotional men, a lot of you, but yet you're trying to preach stoicism. And so that's where I usually have a disconnect with that community, right? Because it literally spells of emotional, over emotional men. And I can't get jiggy with that.
So then why do you say, and this is not to attack or target, I'm curious.
Sure.
I agree with where you concluded. So then why do you say that it's a necessary space?
Because I think that men should have a space, right? Whether you like it or not. The world has been, we live in a gynocentric society for all intents and purposes, which has been perpetuated by men. But there has to be a space where men are able to talk about issues, right? Not this shallow shit that they go back and forth on a lot of the times. But I do think that men's rights is a very important topic. And when you even broach it with women or even people in a number of different spaces, they poo-poo it to say, "Oh, well, you just want men's rights just because females are asking for rights." Right? I don't think that that's a fair dichotomy, and I do think that men need a space, right, where they can go and to vent about things that ail them to a degree.
Okay, so okay, all right. Hey, look, I don't totally agree with that part, but I want to touch on the to a degree part because, in my opinion, I believe that the red pill is like one of the furthest degrees you can go to quote unquote vent because it's full of a
Sure.
lot of self-loathing individuals that don't have any true productive solutions, and is what it becomes is an echo chamber of nonsense and buffoonery. So I get what you're saying. I don't think that red pill is that. I don't. And there's other pills. I don't know all of them, but I'm sure there's some that might be a closer approximation to what you're saying. But I
Hmm.
just have a hard time believing that you truly believe that red pill, when the
Hmm.
majority of these dudes, and not all, but the majority, spew this type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't because I watch both sides of the aisle. I watch people like Destiny, where he combats a lot of these guys, their ways of thinking. Because like I mentioned at the top of the show, I like watching both sides of the aisle when it comes to these talking points, because I do believe that in order for you to be able to have a sound argument, you need to be able to argue from a place outside of that argument, right? That is a stamping point of a good debater. Um, so when I see when the guys that speak on these topics from a place of logic, from a place of where they're breaking down actual statistics, where they take their time to go about understanding these different dynamics to educate men, so that way they don't end up like this guy, right? I can say that that is a net positive. But when I do see, right, and this is where me and you can come to that agreement, when I do see a lot of these individuals, because the loudest ones in the room, all right, not always are the ones that are the most problematic in this case, right? And I do think that there's some helpful rhetoric that they do spit. While it's not like they're recreating the wheel, I'm not saying that they're saying anything new, but you'll be surprised. A lot of these men that we talk to don't even understand these dynamics. So there needs to be a space where that message can get out, because a lot of these guys aren't picking up books to read, which is a problem in itself. But they are going on YouTube, they are going on Facebook, they are going on TikTok, and so you have to be able to discern where the message starts to divide, and then be able to have those conversations. And that's why I love our channel, because when we go back and forth with these rhetorics, I like to be able to say, not that we have some moralistic sense of high ground, right? Because it's not to say that we're perfect in our own right, but at some point you need to be able to challenge this stuff, because at the same token, you may see it from not you, but they may see it from a stance of, "Oh no, I'm just being logical, I'm just showing passion, I'm just showing." I'm like, I've seen guys like you, so you got to be careful. Like, I mean, you're towing a very thin line between you being looking like an incel and perpetuating a message that's gonna rah rah shishkumbah the guys that are gonna say I hate all women, and the guys that are just basically just trying to figure out how to better themselves, right? And I didn't think that's a very delicate line. So yeah, so no, I definitely would agree with you that it's not a perfect sphere whatsoever.
I think also I just have a. I'm not gonna say I have a hard time. I'm not for quote unquote men um, gathering towards stuff like that, like movements like that. I
Okay.
think it strips them of being a man. I think being a man is not necessarily like seeking solace in victimhood, because ultimately
Ooh.
they all
Okay.
come together under that umbrella. For entry into this club, you have to have been wrong, and you have to agree with certain tenets. And I do not think, like, you could tell me all the time, like, you got to take some steps backwards to get forward. I don't think that's a necessary step and progression as a man. In some
Mm.
instances in life, yeah, you have to go back to go forward, but in development as a man, no, you do not have to go that route. You do not have to go that route. So that's where I draw the line. That whole team stuff, because again, it devolves into teams. Oh,
Yeah. No. I get you on that. No, I get you on
No,
that, and
I'm
also
not seeing
I
the
want to give.
comments.
Yeah, I just got a. I just actually I don't know why it's not showing up. We just got a comment from Michael Peoples. Thank you, Michael Peoples. I'm looking at the Facebook chat on my phone.
Uh,
Um, yeah, so Michael Peoples, thank you for the comment. The lack of accountability in men nowadays is disturbing and sad. Yes, I absolutely agree, and that is why me and my co-host, while we do disagree on whether or not there's productivity within this space, something that I think that we can come to a meeting of the minds on is the fact that a lot of the times the rhetoric that is spat in this space spews of a lack of accountability, because when in one space, there's a lot of them that will blame women from why the world the way that it is, but then also in the same breath will say that men so that men need to be the leaders and women need to be the followers. So I just don't understand how those two things can be true if in fact you believe that the world works in this way, right? It just automatically uh, sounds like a there's a disconnect. So yeah, there's definitely a lack of accountability in this space, and not even just in this space, in a lot of a lot of spheres in general. Uh, people are just not owning their creed, and a lot of times people are just saying shit that they just think will get the most views.
that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, Mike Peoples, thanks for the comments. Thanks for the view. We appreciate it. We appreciate and love the support. I said it before. I'm not sure if anyone has left the chat or joined it now, but I said it before. I'll say it again. Next week on Thursday, I will be having Michael Peoples on my show, The True Scope. It's going to be
Woo!
an action-packed segment. I will be releasing more information about what we're going to be discussing as that date nears closer. So please be on the lookout for that. And also, he will be on this channel in the future as well. Okay,
Mm.
so we're not just talking. We walk the walk. And also, I did have a special guest that I wanted to have on tonight, but he couldn't make it, and that was for the other segment that we did about the NFL
Ah,
quarterbacks, and that
gotcha.
was Justin Gabney. He couldn't make it, but he does want to get together to do a panel, not this weekend, but next weekend. So he's going to be bouncing some topics or potential topics off of me, and then I'll bounce them your way, Q Fusion, and then we can go forward from there. So again, next Thursday, Michael Peoples, motivational speaker. If you're not subscribed to his YouTube channel, definitely check it out. It's BU and Prosper. He has a great message, and what I really like about his channel is that he gets it out in a minute, 2 minutes tops. It's very thoughtful, and it's full. It's
Mm.
full of content that we need to hear, no matter who you are, what you're doing. I am more than 110% sure that you can not stand, but you can have great takeaways from just listening to what this brother has to say. And again, like I said, they're very easy listenings because they're not long-winded like our discussions here. All right. So again, that's BU and Prosper. Check out his YouTube channel. Check out his Facebook page, and he also has merch as well. So definitely check that out. Again, look forward to next Thursday. He will be on the Truth Media. I mean, the Truth Scope channel on my YouTube channel. But I digress. Back to this red pill crap. Ultimately, in
Hey
conclusion,
yo.
my final thought, as the great Jerry Springer would say, is I ain't got time for that, man. I just don't have
Oh.
time for it.
Oh.
I believe that most men just don't have time for it. I think that there should be spaces for men because we live in a time where men can't cry and stuff like that, and they can't be hurt and all that stuff. And a lot of it's true. A lot of it's true because as a man, you shouldn't be deep in those things, deep in crying, deep in emotion, and deep in all that stuff. Does that mean
Mhm.
that you have to be an emotional shill, a fucking robot? No, of course not. We have emotions. We're human beings at the end of the day. But to be a man is to be like Zed. So you have to do that. I think we live in a time now where men are emasculating themselves by saying, "Oh, we need spaces, we need this, we need that." Paul George, I got anxiety, I got the depression
Oh
and stuff
shit.
like that. I think, hey, look, not to knock anyone's mental mind state or nothing like that, but at the end of the day, and like it or not, y'all come to the channel for the truth. That's what you're gonna get. Like it or not, the truth of the matter is, no one gives a shit. We still expect a certain output from you. Period. Period. That's it. So you have to put out as a man. I don't think that victim little fucking like bubbles and shells of like dudes coming together like all the dudes from the movie 300 with the little hunchback and the small arm, and
I'm
they
dead.
can't be part of the army because they can't shield, they can't fully extend the arm. A bunch of those guys coming together trying to say, you know what, hey, your short arm is beautiful and all that stuff. At the end of the day, one of you couldn't get it done, and the collective of you can't get it done. So stop. How about you just say, hey, you know what? That's not for me. Find what's for you. That's productive. That's productive. Because even when he snitched on 300 and he went to the Persians, he did not find full satisfaction in that. Even though he had the bitches with no arms and the little
Oh,
titty things, he had all those bitches. King Xerxes came through for him. He was like, "Yeah, nah, you gave me the information. Have all these freaking circus tricks." You know what I'm saying? And but he knew he brought shame. He brought shame to his family. He brought shame to his country, and that he could never show his face ever again. Even though he hardly showed it to begin with, because he was severely disformed. But that's what the red pill movement is to me. And I'm unwavering on that. I'm not going to change.
yeah.
I think if you adopt a loser mindset mentality, then you're a fucking loser. So anyone that's talking that red pill shit to me, brother, I don't care. I don't care if you're black or whatever, nigga. You're a loser. Period. Full stop. You're a loser.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, look, I think there's a lot of things that are being said. I think there's a lot of things that you're saying that do ring true for a lot of people that are in that space. I think there's a lot of things that you probably would even say on a consistent basis that could lean into a lot of the talking points that uh, red pill talkers do speak. Because again, they're not saying it from a place of this is red pill, this is not the truth. They're speaking from a place of okay, these are recognized commonalities that we see within the world. So yeah, you're not creating the will, so to speak. To your point about individuals needing to not to sort of castigate about and sort of become um, sort of these this victim Olympics uh, group, right? I definitely do lean with recordings to that. I think that we men, right? I think there needs to be more critical thinking that exists in men's spaces. I think that idealization, excuse me, I idealize. I used to be able to pronounce big words. Idealization in this spaces is very dangerous, right? Because a lot of the times, like this guy Donovan Sharp, what happens is you start to put them on this pedestal, like you do with your women, and then what happens is you find out they're doing all this fuck shit, and then now you have nowhere to go but down. So I think that we need to get to a point, men and all, like I don't care what pill you're swallowing or what ideological viewpoints you have to be able to take from what someone says, take from the facts that they bring to the table, take from the statistics or whatever they utilize to buffer their points, and you need to practice discernment. Okay, you need to be able to say, okay, this has some, not to say this has some truth to it, but okay, I can see where they're going and how they're utilizing this supposed truth um to make their view sorry to make their view concrete. And this is where I sort of fall by the wayside with regards to their talking point, right? Because we if you don't do that, then you start to see yourself in this Joseph Goebbels sort of Nazi like, if I can say Nazi, you start to end up on that sort of that train where everything someone says becomes gold. And even then you get to this, the videos we had where we had the comments where you see people literally coming out and saying, all this person says is facts. All this person says is the truth. Everything they're saying is believable. And when you're operating from that space, you're putting people on an unattainable, unattainable, what's the thing? An unattainable pedestal of truth that they just cannot ever meet. And the only person that can and has in human history was Jesus. And I think the more that we stop putting people on these damn pedestals, the more that we'll be able to actually have some productive conversations with some good differing viewpoints. Okay, so thank you guys for being able to tune in with us, the ones that stayed on. I know we made this. I certainly made this. I was blaming myself and my internet connection for making this way longer than it was supposed to be. But for those of you that do tune in to this episode when it releases, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for listening to us go back and forth on this topic. I definitely enjoy talking about this community because it's very polarizing to a degree, right? And I definitely look forward to our next video where we break down some interesting takes. All right.
We should do a video on the mgtows.
I would need to. They blend in so much. I would need to be able to look for somebody who is like a bona fide like mgtow like guy and see. But it wouldn't be hard to find. But I definitely would just need to look. It's just because again they blend in so much. Like the red pill guys will then get the red pill rage, and then before you know it, they become mgtow talking that crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and I can't get to it. But anyway, but yeah, guys, thank you so much once more. We look forward to speaking to you guys soon. Peace.
Shadow on the truck. Let's get it. I'm a rock star type nigga, fucks bad bitches. See me in the